doesn't really matter, 'cause I feel so free now. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes when you're here, I can't feel no doubts, 'cause you keep me where the stars are found. It doesn't really matter, 'cause you're here with me now. It doesn't really matter, 'cause I feel so free now. It doesn't really matter.
can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right, it feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right. It feels right, it feels right. Yeah, I can only say that it feels right. Going with the gut, never had a doubt, felt like this is just a must. Put me in perspective, I'm the deepest in the cut. Everybody tuning in, but this is just for us now. We know I ain't ballin' yet, hoes wanna holler, oh no, I don't call them back. Girl, let me see you hold it down, we gon' have a blast. Cause I just wanna know what you gonna do with all of that. Ain't gotta say a word, I know what's up, you can have it all. Watch me rip it off, I'll admit it, you got me feeling hella loved. Even when it's going down, know that we gon' live it up. Young shot caller, always been a baller. Know that you the one, I can feel it in my heart. Yeah, I won't stop charging me, go and come harder. I can see you and I, way beyond the stars, girl. I can never ever find the right words, and there's no way this is real life. There's no telling you're the right girl, so I can only say that it feels right. It feels right. It feels right. It feels right. Everybody tuning in, but this is just for us now.
They said to wait for the right time, and I think tonight might just be right. I know you want to do it too, so bring your courage, there's no rules. Don't be scared, just trust me, take my which way do we go is the question to ask. There are so many choices that it's hard not to look past. What is real and what is fake, and the risk we have to take. Will we know what is throwing up our balance? We're trying to find ourselves without the defining words. We can no longer hold on to what only makes us hurt. We cannot sink into the dark. The vertigo is getting sharp. There's something greater than ourselves that we must reach for. Into the infinite that we must reach. Into the infinite that we must reach. Into the infinite that we must reach. Into the infinite that we must reach.
I'm crawling around, searching for higher ground. Can't see in front of me, my enemies. I've tried every possibility, ability to know if I can bleed. If that's what you wanted, you won't get it tonight. 'Cause I can fly, I can fly, I can fly, I can fly.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I'm Simo. Alongside me is the Save One. We're here to cast and bring you the action for the Risen Esports Invitational.
Cypro does go down. 1v3. Little Rain does end up getting one. Can he get the second one? Yes, he can. He has the res available. Res is his buddy, Shurzei. He's going for the defuse right now. The P comes out at the last second. He looks away. Shurzei now in the 1v1. And Logan takes the triple.
It's not like the previous Risen tournaments where it's single elim. We are seeing player powerhouse dismantle Orbital 13-6.
Too hot either. Player 2 on the other side. Gonna be on B. High pop. Might want to true. SDK are looking for more.
Oh, wow. Place to play around with. Milkman will be the first one. He gets those ducks out. We'll find one, but still there's more on the site. Around the corner comes another. He'll funnel him in, and it is K-Maze that turns it around, and Elite Duels win the round and the match. Gonna try to defuse here, but that's gonna be the U-Haul push. The recon bolt gonna spot him out. He's gonna come in. At least half of it's down. The spray, it's not good. He's gonna try to stick it here, but around the corner, oh my goodness! Elite Duels, K-Maze gets the clutch. But FXU will take it.
There's one more inside of Washroom.
Oh my god.
2 headshots.
And it will be Sarah Cameron Fan Club that come out on top. SCFC. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day number 2 of the Risen Esports Invitational. I'm Simo. I have not changed, but getting a day older is all that's really changed. But aside, me is going to be Saved One, and we're ready to cast some of the action. Saved, are you excited for another day of Valorant action here for the Risen Esports Invitational?
Today's going to be awesome. In day number 1, we saw 3 amazing back-to-back-to-back games. You saw in that hype trailer, man. I don't really even have to say too much in terms of the story. That kind of just told you it all, right? It was just 3 really
Yeah.
awesome games, and
Yeah.
tonight we get to see 3 more.
Yeah, and without further ado, we're going to go into a kind of the nitty gritty, similar to what we did
Yes.
in yesterday's stream. For those of you that are kind of just joining us and want to know a little bit more about kind of the formatting of the tournament, it's a 3-day tournament. We are in day number 2, where the group stage is still happening, where it is best of 1 rounds, 8 teams split amongst 2 groups, Group A and Group B. Yesterday, we saw a lot of Group B, so today, by default, we're going to see a lot of Group A in a round robin format. The top 2 from each group, so today's where everything is on the line, will move to the final 4. So today, you're going to find out who are your finalists competing on the final day tomorrow for $800 in the prize pool. And when it comes to map bans, each team bans 1 map. Team A selects the starting side, and I'm going to assume that Team A, if we have a look at our own schedule here, our production schedule, we'll see that it is the team that is kind of like on the left. I don't really know how else to explain
Mhm.
that, but whichever team is in the Team A slot, they will be the one that select the starting side. Now, moving on to the actual groups themselves, we'll see in a little bit more of an updated score. But why don't you talk us a little bit about what happened in Group A, since we didn't get to see a lot of them yesterday?
Yeah, so Powerhouse in game number 1 took on Orbital, and we were saying that it was going to be an interesting match. Powerhouse versus Orbital. Orbital were going into the match as being the Risen Esports kind of winners of the second tournament that Risen put on, and Powerhouse, they took the distance. They went the distance for sure, and they ended up beating them like 13-6 or something like that. And it was a crazy, crazy match for sure. So we have to watch out for
Yeah.
those 2 teams coming into today. Go Next and First Gen GG did not have the best display, as you can see in their scores. Orbital Takeover, though, after their very first loss versus Powerhouse, they ended up going 2-0. So I feel like today is going to be an interesting showcase as Orbital wants to get into the semis.
Yeah, moving on to Group B, though, we are seeing a little bit more of, I would call, an even standing where we see 2-1 and 1-2 across the board. Of course, 303 and SCFC are kind of leading that pack, so they still have at least a map buffer they can afford to lose if they still go 2-1 in the group. However, Elite Duels and SDK fans, which already SDK fans are flooding the chat, can
Yep.
expect a little bit more of an uphill battle today. They really need to get their team together, and Elite Duels as well. It's not really just on the back of SDK if they want to make it out of Group B. If we remember the format, top 2 move on. But now let's move on to the actual schedule of the day. For those of you SDK fans, I'm going to be the one that brings the bad news. We will not be watching SDK today. Unfortunately, we saw a lot of SDK yesterday in Group B, and today we're focusing a little bit more on Group A. So we will only be covering one Group B match, which will be Sarah Cameron up against 303. Haven't seen a lot of 303 yesterday, so it's going to be good to see them. But on the side of Group A, we'll be covering Powerhouse versus Orbital, rematch from yesterday. And then in the final game of the day, it'll be First Gen G versus Powerhouse.
And I'm super excited for all 3 of these matches. Powerhouse versus Orbital is the rematch of yesterday's game number 1 that we ended up seeing, plus a couple of new teams that we end up getting to watch. First Gen GG versus Powerhouse is going to be a major, major match. A lot of people can look at that matchup and say, you know what, it's Powerhouse that's just going to sweep the board. There's always sometimes the underdogs come through. Imagine if First Gen end up winning in that game. Simo, I don't know. I'd be going a little bit crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. And something that kind of knocked me a little bit off guard when it comes to the group standings. Go Next is a team that was the grand finalist in the most previous Risen Esports competitive
Yeah.
tournament. And to see them go, 1-2 in their group, it's not really a good record you want to have going into the second day. But this would be the day that you shape up. Then your closest opponent that you could take down could be Orbital. They're right now in that second spot. And we'll be looking to see how the rest of the day pans out. But again, like you said, today is the day that Orbital need to take out Powerhouse, or else I feel like the rest of the tournament may be in shambles. And it's going to start here. It will be Powerhouse on defense to kick us off, and Orbital taking on the attacker side. And we will be on bind for the first map of the day.
Yeah, Orbital doing some basic stuff. What's kind of interesting is that Shirzei is not going alone over at A site, which we usually end up seeing. However, it's the pistol round SEMO, and everyone's broken at this time. So everyone's got pistols. Everyone has an equal chance at success. Let's see how Orbital are able to attack here on B.
Slow walking movement is kind of the great start, but we saw early on yesterday how Powerhouse were able to dismantle Orbital, but already a great start. Concon with 3 quick kills, and now they have this B site. They have everything they need. Let's see how they do.
Logan's not in the best situation. He has to try and find any sort of kills if he can. He does have 15 armor, but it wasn't enough for Cypro. The headshot came through. Shirzei with an amazing post plant takes out Durzy. Orbital, they came into this map, SEMO, and they made a very, very large statement in round 1.
You know, I usually feel like everything that I've seen from Orbital is that Haven is their map, right? That is the map that they are the most comfortable on. Maybe we'll see something different here on Bind, or maybe it is just for Powerhouse, not the map that they prefer. If we have a quick look at some of those picks and bans, it was Orbital that banned Haven, something that they feel like they didn't perform well yesterday on. And as a result, what's the default ban? You're going to ban Split, get it out of the way, right? Yeah. So the fact that we're on Bind doesn't really surprise me now that we know how the bans kind of went through. Right. But now Orbital, they're poised, they're ready, they're looking towards A.
Yeah, Orbital were the ones that ended up losing, actually, on Haven versus Powerhouse. So they kind of knew that, you know what, the 3-site map isn't really in our favor because, you know, they're just simply better as players, at least in the more spread out 1v1 position. But what Bind is really, really reliable on is the team play. And already you can see it. Orbital take over Concon with the first frag.
Whole new showing here from Orbital. Of course, we still have 20-plus rounds potentially left to go. Shirzei's got the Bulldog and a beautiful skin, might I say. Is that a Cadillac? Does he have a Cadillac on his gun? My goodness. Oh, I think that's the Couture skin. How much, bro, how much did that cost you? I don't even think the prize pool is no, come on. I think so. I think it's in the isn't the Bulldog Couture skin? It's in the battle. Yeah, but you have to buy. Wait, maybe he's played a lot, and he's able to get some of those skins up. But already, that skin kind of paying off in dividends as they find 2 quick kills on the site.
We're talking about the battle pass, but Orbital is completely taking over the match itself. It's going to be Poison Flames that's left with a shorty. Can't exactly do anything with that in the later parts of the round, so it's going to be 2-0 that go up. Orbital now looking at more of an even gun line.
Yeah, and still Spectres across the board for Orbital. You have to remind yourself that this is one of those scenarios. Oh, actually, they're getting kind of frisky. I see 2 Vandals and a Phantom, something that you don't normally see in that 3rd round buy, especially for the team that wins 2 straight. They don't have the economy to afford such heavy weaponry. In addition to the utility and the armor, really stacks up into the 3000s. But they're here, they're able to afford it. We'll see if that's going to be able to pay off. We're having a quick look at the Sova Arrow, and as well as the Omen Smoke, getting some of that coverage in B short, but still, Orbital, they have no business being there as they're just gathering information from this A site first.
Yeah, Durzy holding a very aggressive angle inside of bathrooms. You usually don't see him in the wide open usually doing that, but Poison Flames as well, now taking his own aggressive push down here. In long B, does end up getting spotted out by a Cypher Cam. What exactly does that really mean? I'm not too sure. Durzy with 1, he does get traded out. He looked for 1 more, and he couldn't find it.
Yeah, now they are going to try to execute on this A site, but a beautiful smoke getting coverage all the way across on the other side of the map. Something that I feel like people are going to have to get used to is that Omen is not always going to be where his smokes are. Flare getting a crispy little headshot onto Concon, and now they will need to force the issue here on this A site, or they don't have the time to reposition over towards B. 40 seconds here remaining on the clock. Logan and Co already on the site. They're going to try to defend off to the side. There's going to be a flank coming in from Poison Flames, but he's a little late to the party. And with that spike being planted, it is now up to Powerhouse to wheedle their way back through on their own site, and Orbital are ready for that.
1v1 inside of U-Haul. Who ends up winning it at the end of the day? Little Rain does back up, but
Wow.
Neuro ends up getting 2. Logan now with 1 more for himself, and that is going to be the round, Simo. 2 quick rounds for Orbital, but Powerhouse, they now take it back, and they give Neuro the ultimate charge.
You know, this is one of those things that I feel like if I've ever, like, for the amount of times that I've seen a team win 2 straight, win the pistol, win the soft buy, and then the opposite team wins on the Vandal buy, I feel like I've seen that so much. And I think the main thing to note, though, is that Orbital invested in Vandals and Phantoms. 3 members did. And now you're seeing that their economy isn't in the greatest place, so they're going to have to figure out what are they going to do, how are they going to fight. And they're opting in for, you know, SMGs in the form of pistols and SMGs in the form of, well, SMGs. So trying to get close range, and the only place to get close range is B. You know, you've got the hookah, the wood, and some of those angles are a little closer than the A site.
This is going to be cool to see how exactly Orbital are able to take advantage of their kind of soft buy, but Powerhouse, they're definitely in the position to go crazy, and it's going to be Flare now. Flare now with 2. He's going nuts! Triple kill for himself. Does get shut down, but Poison Flames takes down Scherze. Poison Flames now backing on up, but he's got the Vandal, and it's not enough versus Little Rain. Little Rain in a 1v4 situation. My goodness, what is he able to do?
Yeah, down to a 1v3 now for him. He's going to try to at least make it out of this with taking somebody down. I feel like that's his goal. A couple of those pre-fire shots around the corner from Logan, but now the reload's going to be called in. In one of these scenarios, I feel like you can count bullets, you know, and for Little Rain, maybe having that opportunity to count Logan's bullets, unfortunately, has to count his blessings, as he will not see another day. It'll be Powerhouse evening us up 2-2, moving on to that 5th round here in the first half. We'll see if Orbital are able to put up another one here. They definitely want to. I mean, that's kind of obvious and goes without saying. But with that full buy, they're looking to do some damage. But Neuro, he's got an operator. We'll see if he's able to really do some damage with that. We've seen Powerhouse do it before.
Yeah, we've seen operators all day yesterday, and it was so good. It was just so clean to watch for sure. Another topic that that's kind of been talked about recently with the Omen buffs coming through. Omen's now kind of up there with the top tier agents, and we're seeing him more and more in these tournaments. And I'm really excited to watch him more.
Yeah, he's got a lot more utility that I feel like can be used. Neuro already starting us off, and it's just that angle. If you don't protect yourself walking into the A site, already the res is going to be called through. An early investment to try to save the round. They will back away, still 5v5. Poison Flame's gonna put us back down to a 5v4 res, meaning a whole lot of nothing now at this point. They're ready and gonna funnel in towards B, as they only have 60 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. They're playing a little bit of Ring Around the Rosie right now. Omen trying to scout out towards Fountain, but the rest of Orbital are trying to take over B with Scherze over on A. Is he going to try and find anything? But it's going to be Flare now with 2 for himself.
Wow.
Neuro gets a 3rd. That's massive. Zapper doing literally nothing.
Oh.
A flawless round that came through for Powerhouse. They came up huge.
Oh, rough. Poison Flames there. He was able to get some of that nearsightedness from his utility, and they were just stuck in U-Haul, not able to do really a whole lot. Paranoia being the hero there of that round. We even saw Zapper's perspective at some point, trying to use Hunter's Fury. He was able to tag somebody, but unfortunately not able to finish. And now, after a rough round for them, they will try to corral their forces and move on to this 2nd round. I still think that they could come 2nd in the group, but this map really means a whole lot to them, and they need to really fight their demons against Powerhouse.
Just got to come together as a squad. They know exactly the synergy that they need, but it's going to be a long rush. Oh, that's Concon, though. He had the Marshal, didn't even have the operator for himself. Poison Flame's getting aggressed on, and he does end up being taken to pretty low HP. Does end up getting 1 for his troubles? Question? No, it was Neuro that got 1. Poison Flame did go down.
Oh no, Cypro, he's committing to that plant, and unfortunately cannot seal the deal. Dersey using that orbital strike. Oh my god, a Corgi, let's go baby! Love to see it already. Gonna make me feel a lot better about myself, and Little Rain feeling quite better about himself too, as he will find Dersey on the other end of the stinger. Now with 2 members remaining, they're going to try to make their way back onto the site. Logan going to start that divide and conquer. The Rez as well, going to make things a little bit more even, but they will just mow him down. And Little Rain making it rain as he gets a couple of those shots in, evening us out back to 3-3.
He came with the flank too, so all he had to do was transfer the spray with the stinger of all things. And he did it just so beautifully. You can never underestimate any of these members over on Orbital Takeover. Powerhouse, they've shown 3 amazing rounds. There, I think they just kind of flopped, Simo. I'm not too sure where their synergy was, but they kind of got out-rotated by Orbital.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, now moving on to the 7th round. We are nearing, well, not nearing, but starting to get closer and closer towards the end of this first half, and that could mean a lot of things moving into the second, depending on how this finishes up. So far, even, and both teams obviously want to start to extend their lead as best as they possibly can, and for Orbital, what that means is trying to find some opening picks on the backs of somebody like Zapper and Scherze to create some space in dividing and conquering. But you've got these 2 pesky players on the B side that have done such a great job round after round defending. Poisoned and Flare, just this unstoppable duo, and I just feel like the odds are a lot more increased if you push towards A for Orbital.
Yeah, and this is really interesting too, to even add on to your point, is that they're sticking with B as well. Powerhouse, their Sova ended up rotating, but the run it back now to try and clear out the site. Can they find anybody? And that's Scherze's goal right now. Now on the back of the site, does end up getting sandwiched by 2 players. Now ends up actually running it back, and I think they're going to be going with your strat here, Simo. They want to look over towards A.
Yeah, and they're already open up with a pick, but Neuro will be the one that answers back. The operator doing work, but still needs to find a couple of those kills. It's going to be Poison Flames that as well joins the fray. Now going to be using... Wait, what? Did he... Wait, what? No! Oh, that feels so bad. But gets a kill for his trouble. Penny for his thoughts. A couple more kills here are needed. They will get that spike planted. Konkon, he's going to find that mow down. Logan with the conversion to Blaze Wall. Scherze trying to stay alive. Now down to a 1v3. The spike is ticking. And Neuro says, not today. They will clean things up, giving them a round advantage, 4-3.
2 operators over on the side of Powerhouse, and both of them doing absolute work with it. Konkon's kind of flick headshot was very notable within the round itself. Also, the rotation that came through from the Orbital squad. But they did not take into factor that Poison Flames. He had his ultimate available. The Omen got into heaven. Even though he kind of whiffed 2 teleports, he was still able to get onto the ground and secure at least 1 kill for himself. But yeah, they got to watch out. At least Orbital, they have to watch out for their rotations and where they decide to rotate at what time in the game.
Yep, now moving on to round number 8 here. Having a quick little look at the fountain. It is Orbital Takeover. They still have the weaponry, I feel like, to play and compete here. So the following round may be an eco, but already Flare gets into a little bit of a gunfight, now having to back away. It's Orbital forcing the issue here on towards this B site. They'll slow orb that corner, but a beautiful position here from Poison. He's got the op. Flare able to defend with 2. Finds 2 quick kills. Logan will join the leaderboard, but that's going to be still the conversion off on the site. The spike has yet to be planted. There's a minute remaining, and it's all up to Cypher, missing 2 crucial shots. Now, switching to the Frenzy. He's in a 1v3. He's got a lot of utility, but he needs to be careful. There's going to be one up on the box, but does he see him? Now making his way onto the site, switching to the Frenzy for that close range. Up above, there's someone waiting for you. It's Logan. And a beautiful 3K coming out from him. Powerhouse extending their lead by 2 rounds. This first half is looking a little rough for Orbital.
Definitely very rough. They had a really nice early game. The pistol round and the round after that, they were able to transfer, and we thought that they were going to also win round 3 with their buy-ups of Vandals, but they just were not able to transfer any sort of aggression. We're kind of seeing the Orbital versus Powerhouse game that we saw yesterday, where Powerhouse completely took over the series. This might be kind of the mountain that Orbital has to climb later on here in this tournament. Of course, this game is still very, very much winnable for Orbital, but I feel like they need a little bit more team synergy in terms of communication, honestly, on their part.
Ooh. Slow and steady has been kind of the name of the race here for Orbital. Scherze. Oh, no. That feels so bad. that, you hate to see it. Flair going to try to get a little bit active. He's using that running back, but he's going to be punished by using it in an uncomfortable position. Now Poison Flame, he's going to try to be the last one here that remains on the site. Logan finding one with the Hunter's Fury. That's got to hurt. Now the rest of the team here from Powerhouse are going to be moving in on towards this B site. And Orbital, they've got to defend because this spike needs to stay not diffused.
It's the post-spike plant positions. They've all came out, but it's Neuro. My goodness, this guy's been popping off with the operator. Watch out, ladies and gentlemen. He's going crazy. And now need to find a Zapper, but he's completely taking over Con now. The dynamic duo, the Spike, very low HP. Neuro has a clutch, and he cannot. Zapper, my goodness, he's a beast.
Woo. Well, they're able to hold on for as long as they can. You know, at this point, I think we saw something a little similar in the first half on Haven. I think it was a 7-5 finish. I can feel that could happen here as well. With 3 rounds remaining, it's quite close, 5-4 still. Anybody's game, but once we move into the second half, that is where Powerhouse really turned on the Jets when they were on attack. Is Orbital going to struggle with that again here? We're going to have to see, because it may not be their strong suit defending. But so far, they've been doing a great job on attack, trying to keep things even.
Yeah, it's a really good point to bring up. You can also say the same thing over for Orbital, is that, hey, maybe attack isn't really their strong suit here on Bind. Maybe it's the defense that they really just kind of thrive in. And right now, if I was Orbital going 6-6 half, I would have a massive, massive smile on my face. But they have to get to that point. Right now, the spread that we see that's coming out from them is really, really massive, but the Hunter's Fury goes out.